Imagine paying just $5.50 for a chance to see one of the most iconic bands in history, the Beatles. That's exactly what fans did back in 1965 when the Fab Four performed their only concert in the Twin Cities. 60 years later, this landmark event remains etched in the memories of those lucky enough to attend. But here's where it gets fascinating. How does this compare to today's concert prices? And why do we still talk about that night as if it were yesterday? Rewinding to August 21st, 1965, the scene was set at Met Stadium in Bloomington, a venue now long gone, replaced by the bustling Mall of America. The Beatles' performance took place on a stage positioned near second base, meaning even the closest fans were about 40 yards away from the legendary musicians. Tickets came in 3 tiers: $3.50, $4.50, and $5.50. Adjusted for inflation, that top-tier ticket would cost around $56 today. Compare that to Paul McCartney's 2025 U.S. Bank Stadium show, with prices ranging from $135 to over $750. Quite the jump, isn't it? Now let's break down some intriguing details from that unforgettable evening. For starters, the band played an energetic set lasting only 30 minutes, but they packed in 11 songs during that short span. In other cities on their tour, they occasionally added a 12th song to the mix. Fast forward to modern times, and McCartney performs upwards of 36 tracks in nearly 3 hours. It's clear how live performances have evolved since then. Here's something you might not know. The Beatles didn't stick strictly to their assigned roles during the show. While John Lennon and Paul McCartney handled most of the vocals, George Harrison and Ringo Starr each sang one tune apiece. As for merchandise, options were minimal compared to today's standards. Fans could buy either a $1 program or a $1 megaphone featuring pictures of all 4 band members. Can you imagine attending a major concert now without dozens of merch booths lining the venue? Speaking of logistics, there was a bit of improvisation involved behind the scenes. A fleet of 4 limousines waited at Wold Pullman Field Airport to chauffeur the band to the stadium. However, instead of splitting up into separate cars, the entire group piled into a single limo. This kind of spontaneity feels almost unimaginable in today's highly orchestrated celebrity culture. But wait, there's more drama lurking beneath the surface. Before the concert, Minneapolis Police Inspector Donald Dwyer confronted the band after hearing complaints about underage girls being lured into their hotel room. It turned out the woman in question was actually 21 years old and from Cleveland, but not before Dwyer threatened to arrest McCartney unless she left within 2 minutes. Controversial, right? What would people say about such an incident today? Would fans defend the band or side with the authorities? Backstage preparations included a pre-show press conference lasting 25 minutes, almost as long as the actual performance itself. Reporters lobbed playful yet probing questions at the band, including classics like, "Is your hair real?" George Harrison's witty response, "Our hair's real, lady. What about yours?" showcased the humor that helped make them global icons. Another memorable exchange occurred when someone asked what the band did with all their money. Drummer Ringo Starr quipped, "We bury it." Security measures were also noteworthy. Each member of the 150-person security team carried smelling salts to revive fainting fans, a precaution that speaks volumes about the intensity of Beatlemania. Meanwhile, an estimated 3,000 eager fans gathered at the airport to catch a glimpse of the band upon their arrival at 4:15 p.m., hours before the 7:30 p.m. concert. Talk about dedication. For context, the Twin Cities concert drew approximately 28,000 attendees to Met Stadium, which had a capacity of 40,000. The outfield bleachers remained empty because they would have obstructed the view due to the stage placement. Despite this, the event earned the Beatles a cool $50,000, not counting profits from souvenir sales. To put that in perspective, their record-breaking Shea Stadium concert in New York City attracted 55,600 fans later that same year. Met Stadium itself has an interesting legacy. Opened in 1956, it hosted both baseball and football games until its demolition in 1985. 2 decades after the Beatles' visit, the site became home to the Mall of America in 1992. Interestingly, local historians may recall that the stadium also played host to the Major League All-Star Game in 1965, followed by the Minnesota Twins' first-ever World Series appearance against the Dodgers that fall. So what do you think? Does revisiting these numbers and anecdotes bring back nostalgia for simpler times? Or highlight how much the music industry has changed? Do you agree with Inspector Dwyer's harsh words about the band? Or do you find his reaction overly dramatic? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.